Thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
So as these search and rescue efforts continue, many families are returning to find they no longer have a home or even basic essentials like clean clothes or a hot meal. Just explain what the Salvation Army is doing right now on the ground to support those impacted.
Sure. The Salvation Army in Kirk County in the past has gone to other areas of Texas, even as far away as Florida, to respond to natural disasters as they occur. So for us to actually have one in our county, is really a different experience for us, especially as tragic as this one. We, as we're doing our service, we actually have two employees whose house got swept away and just barely made it out. And so we are not only serving others, but we're also taking care of our own. And it's really personal for us, as well as knowing people who have lost their lives. And it's a lot different when you go to serve and to help other communities. It is a different experience when people who have been affected and have lost everything.
Yeah.
So for us, it really just puts it in perspective. This community is it's in shock. We're still hearing higher and higher numbers every day as the updates come, and certainly no one was expecting 23 feet to come so quickly. We were preparing for the 4th of July weekend and the wonderful fireworks shows that take place in the park that's located in Kerrville, and it happened overnight. And so people were sleeping, and I've spoken to folks who just you could heard screaming just because they were awakened as their house was moving. And so it's a lot of work, but at the same time, I'm blessed. I have a home to go home to tonight, and other people don't. And so while it is tragic, I've also seen the greatness of Kerrville. I mean, we have over 1,000 first responders that have come. We have locations that have brought us food and water and other things for us to serve. We currently, as it's shifted and where things have opened up, our operation has moved in several parts of the county. And then today in Hunt, as that area has opened up, we have locations that are serving first responders. We also have places where, as people who just lost everything are coming to us for help, and we're providing that to them. As you may know, the Salvation Army provides spiritual, emotional care, but we also have the ability through our normal social services to set up an operation where, we can help people with the rent and the utilities and clothing, and we have shower units coming, as well as washers and dryers, so that they can have a place where they can do their laundry.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, this is, as you say, it hits especially hard when it's happened essentially in your backyard where you live.
right.
And obviously it's taking an emotional toll, and you help people with that emotional and help and spiritual support. Just in terms of the emotional toll on survivors, how are you helping them cope in these early days?
Today, for me, was someone that escaped out of their house, but their pet, their cat, that meant everything to him, didn't make it. And certainly we are grateful, for yet another day of life for him to experience. But the loss that he felt when this pet that he's cared for so long and meant so much to him, is now gone and is not replaceable. We're thankful for his life, but just being able to sit and share through this tragedy, and just you have people who they don't even know, because their kids are missing, where that's going to lead, and certainly we are praying for the best. And I know, this isn't going to end until everyone is found. And so, we are praying and hoping But yet, as tough as this is, we know that God's in control, and He's got us in the palm of His hand, and great people are stepping up to help us to serve people in this community.
Yeah, and it is good to see that united response. But in terms of, the families who've lost their homes, can you tell us about the shelters that have been set up? How many people are you currently helping, and what sort of coordination are you seeing from local authorities and government agencies?
We're a partner with the county. They've placed us over a VOAD, which is sort of the coordination of the volunteer groups that are coming to our community, so that we can have a single point of reference and be able to meet those needs as the county makes us aware. And then in the long term, the houses are gone, so we're looking towards rebuilding, and then rent and utilities. People escape with just the clothes on their back, so we've opened up our stores and to allow people just to have things that they can wear tomorrow, and it comes from generous people who make that possible. And it's for us, it's just a wonderful ministry to see so many people come together in a time so tragic, just trying to make someone who's gone through the unspeakable have such a better day. And while it's tragic, and while it's personal for us with our own employees who have lost everything, it just gives you confidence and hope in the people that have come together to make this bearable.
Yeah, and you and your colleagues are offering so much support and care for those around you. How are you coping? How are you and your colleagues handling this, given it's so personal for you?
It's long days, but like I said, I have a home to go home to, so that can, in comparison, it helps to, make sure that you can do all that you can do for those that don't. And, it's one of those things where, when we have people who are coming alongside us to do that, trying just to make a difference and make tomorrow better for someone who's lost so much, it is personal because it is home, but at the same time, there's just so much good that is coming out of this in our county.
Yeah, well, we're all behind you, and we are thinking of you all, and hope you hang in there, and appreciate all the work you're doing. Thanks so much. Major Phil Swyers. Appreciate it.
God bless you.
You too. With rescue efforts still underway, local officials are keeping a close eye on the weather forecast over Texas. Meteorologist Chris Warren has been tracking the storm system and brings us the latest on what to expect in the days ahead.
This whole disaster unfolding in a matter of hours during the overnight Friday into Friday morning. So Thursday night into Friday morning, with areas receiving more than a foot of rain, but widespread over several counties in this orange and red color here, which is 4 to 6, even 6 to 10 inches of rain. This is how it played out on radar from overnight Friday to 5:30 in the morning. Here's Kerrville and Kerr County right here, getting so much rain, and it just continued throughout the mid-morning and into the early afternoon. So several hours of non-stop and occasionally intense rain, leading to serious fast flooding here along the Guadalupe River in Kerrville. Most of the week, the water level was under a foot, 0.7. And then in a matter of hours, it goes up a little bit to 3 feet and then jumps to 2 stories high. About 23.4 feet, so it was about 2 stories high just so quickly. That's something you just do not see very often at all. It's hard to imagine that happening, that wave of water. Meanwhile, flash flood warnings were being issued between midnight and noon. 24, more than 2 dozen issued by the National Weather Service. Highest level flash flood emergencies, and that was summoned through here near Kerrville as well. Here's the high-resolution future radar. Through time, more rain is expected. Some overnight, but really going to pick up tomorrow morning into the afternoon and evening hours. Not seeing some of the heaviest storms right over Kerr County. However, with the high-resolution future radar, you have to give a little bit of wiggle room here. It could drift a little bit farther to the south, so just a big heads up there for the search efforts ongoing there as well. So the forecast rainfall, the amount that we're expecting, generally about 2 to 4 inches in the highest amounts. Nothing compared to what we saw the past couple of days.
Thanks to Chris Warren. Well, we are following other developing stories. Still ahead, Israel is sending negotiators to ceasefire and hostage talks with Hamas, but witnessing death remains a way of life in Gaza despite the prospect of a truce.